Well, hi there. Recently, one of my samples went a little, viral. So since I have so many new and adoring fans, I'm like, hey, let's give the people what they want. Let's give them a nice breakdown. So we're gonna go through the breakdown together, and we're gonna learn how to make ambient jazz samples. All right, so as you can see here, I have the project pulled up. One thing to note, as you see here, there's not a lot of elements, and as you will find out, simplicity in these samples is key. So keeping things minimal and having open space in your sample is gonna be vital. So I first wanna start off with a piano. I played this piano in. I used Keyscape on a double felt grand dry preset. Let's take a listen to it. First of all, looks super complicated, but it's really not. I'm only using 4 chords here. First one is gonna be an E flat minor 7. Then we move on to a F7. This one is the one that kind of brings it all together. And then we go to a B flat minor 9. Such a pretty chord. We repeat that until, as you can see here, this is a new chord. And all we're doing is transitioning back to the E flat minor 7. So if we're looking at this in keys, this is gonna be in the key of B flat minor, and we're going from a 4 to a 5 to a 1. And then the transition chord is gonna be just a diminished F sharp. And as you can see here, the notes look all over the place, but I'm playing a simple pattern. Playing the low note before I play the beginning note. And so after I got the piano, I wanted to layer it a little bit, and so we move on to the Rhodes. This one, really nothing crazy going on here. I wanted it to be a layer. I don't want it to be complicated. So we're doing that by holding out the chords and not really changing the rhythm of it. It's just little textures I've added in there that really bring the piano to life. And after I got those 2 elements down, we moved on to the bass. Now this bass I actually recorded live. I love recording basses live. I don't know if you guys struggle with this, but there's a lot of bass plugins that I do not like. Like, it's hard for me to find a good bass plugin. And so recording live is honestly the go-to option for me whenever I make anything. So what I did for the bass here, super simple. I play the root notes with the chords. This is just like a layer I needed in the lower frequency to fill out this frequency spectrum. And speaking of filling out the frequency spectrum, that's gonna lead us to the next thing, a high string. So subtle. This is a great way to add depth into your sample, especially for this one. This adds like a layer of like intrigue and mystery into it once you hear it. I had a really good foundation of the sample already. So at this point, it's really just adding a lead and then adding textures. I used my sequential Take 5 synth. Beautiful thing. So as you can see, these synths kind of interact with each other. They're kind of bouncing off each other. I'll play them together so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And that delay is so good. Oh, so if you hear it together with the sample right now. See, it already sounds great just how it is. And then we have 2 more elements before we bring up the one that I'm most excited about. I pulled up Opus, which is personally what I use whenever I have a string section that I want. And this is what I recorded. All right, that's pretty cool. I'm sure you can tell what I pretty much did here. I wanted the sample to crescendo. And the second part here, one cool thing I do want to point out here is instead of playing the chords and then having the chords crescendo, I played one note at a time. Also, that really gives the feeling of going from nothing to like a big something. And finally, we get to the best part of the sample, my vocals. This was the main part of the sample. As you can hear, and also as you can see here, I really wanted the vocals to do kind of what the strings did beforehand, where we're all crescendoing to a big finale. So to keep it soft in the beginning, I sang with my mouth closed like this, I basically just followed the chords. I didn't really have a melody line. And then in the next 8 bars of the first section, I added more harmonies. But as you can hear, I'm kind of opening my mouth just a little bit more, just to kind of give a feeling that it's escaping and crescendoing. All right, and then we move into the second section, which is supposed to be the big finish. And then I did something which is what I kind of do with a lot of my samples. I'll have a vocal harmony background, and then I'll have like a lead vocal. We can see I did that here in the final section. And the final thing I did with the vocals here, just bear with me. What I did was I added another vocal layer. I know. It's a little rough, but it doesn't have to be perfect because I drenched in a reverb. I do want to go over my vocal effects chain because I use this every single time, and I'm not even joking. I have this parametric EQ, EQing out the lows, a little bit of the mids, and boosting the highs. I have a compressor set at these settings. I don't know what they do. I have a fresh air plugin, again bringing out the highs, taking a little bit of the mids here, but not too much. Stereo enhancer here, that's giving a nice stereo to our vocals, of course. And then this is the best plugin. I use this on everything. Anything I want to add a little bit of texture to, I use Magic Dice. And yeah, that's basically like all I did for the vocals. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the entire sample. But yeah, these are honestly my favorite type of samples to make. They can go good with so many genres. That's something that I'm kind of realizing now is how many genres these type of samples can go with. And that's why I recommend you trying these out yourself. Is you'll be surprised at how many ways you can flip it. Make jazz, dude. It's so cool. If you have any suggestions, feedback, comments, you want to say I'm ugly, type it down below. I hope this helped you, and yeah, I will see you guys later.